I just hit record, so now we're recording.
Well,
birthday week was good.
Gin and tonic for your birthday right now.
Oh, quite lovely. I'm about to take my clothes off here. It's because I'm a superstitious kind of person. So.
Okay, no.
Yeah, that's right. Porque no. Pretty soon I'll have it tattooed on my chest.
Yes, you might as well. Yeah.
Yes, and I do have to give a shout out to our one viewer and commenter who appreciates the I don't know, the low level stripping that happens on this show, on this broadcast.
Yeah. I think our viewer has been struggling to contain himself all week. Really.
Well,
he's only human.
Yeah. It is Friday night, so usually we record on Thursday, a little more tame. Yeah. Friday night, you never know what's going to happen.
You just don't know. You don't know. I might even take my hat off. It's been crazy.
Yeah. We've got a different backdrop. That doesn't look like England. I'm not sure that blue stuff above your head has ever appeared in England, from what I understand.
It pops out sometimes, maybe once a year you crack a bit of blue sky in the north if you're lucky.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay. It's quite lovely, that.
That's two things. First of all, one is one of my colleagues at work finds us most entertaining on the podcast and wants to know why we don't stream live so he can listen in live. I said, well, it might happen. You might see it
might happen
outside at Westgate. Or
it was close to happening this week, I think.
Yes.
We had the option to record now, which is what times it's about 8:30 on Friday night, or maybe stream live tomorrow morning, which would be the 11th. Yeah. My mornings, unless it's early, kind of get a little squirrely.
A little gnarly.
Yeah. And that rhymes, early and squirrely.
All right. Well, before we get
with that, let me take off my shirt.
Take off your shirt.
So you talk. I don't know if you realize this, but when I take my headphones off, I can't hear what you're saying. So I just see your mouth going blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. So I'm going to do that right now before you say anything else.
I didn't even know if the headphones mattered, to be honest. Just listen to me anyway. It's just a bunch of nonsense. Actually.
And I can still talk into the mic. I don't know. I just kind of mute it.
You can. Yeah, you can.
I don't know why I'm doing that either. My mic works. I just don't have my headphones on.
On mute and no headphones, you'd probably be more successful. You should probably do that. Anyway, so for all those 3 viewers out there, the pool behind me is the circa 2006 World Cup pool, where myself and Andrew first laid eyes on one another and encountered the joy that is Italy versus England soccer rivalry. And by Jove, did we have a good time? And yes, we did. Oh, welcome back.
So what were you bloody talking about? Is it like confession? That's what we should call it. We should call it your confession. You should just get stuff off your chest while I don't have my, I'm showing off my chest.
I was just sharing how, why the pool is in the background there. The significance of the World Cup 2006 England, Italy, and how I walked down to the pool ready to just relax with a margarita and see this pasty white bald guy lying out there with an Italy flag. And I was like, oh my God.
That's not quite how it went. Well, not the finals.
No, I think
it's not how the finals went. Yeah.
England, come on, England. Bit louder than that because I don't want to shout at the house and wake up people.
So did you all of a sudden fast forward to this year? Because you weren't doing that in 2006-07.
No, but I haven't seen Italy in the World Cup since, so it's been a while.
And neither have I. Yeah. I think that was the last time they won a game.
Yeah, they're a mighty powerhouse of football these days, that's for sure.
Well, except, you know what? I take that back, except for the Euro finals, whenever that was, which was I forget, who did they play in that game? Croatia?
I don't remember.
Spain? Sweden? Netherlands? France?
When it comes to international football, I like to live like a goldfish.
I don't remember who they played. It must have been a completely insignificant team.
Yeah.
All
right, let's get into it. So
all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, so we got to do our recap, right? We had a good week.
We had a very good week.
Let's see. I always try to think. I've done. I do so much thinking about what I'm going to talk about on here. I forget some of these matchups. Oh, that was Kansas City, Miami.
Yes.
In Germany.
Yeah.
Quick 21-0 start for the Chiefs, and then they hang on.
On that big.
Yeah.
That was just a goodie. And then we had the Vikes coming out fighting for Kirk Cousins, seeing as they just lost Big Kirk, and there they go, and out they come, and Joshua Dobbs comes like he's playing pickup football in the park. How about that?
He was playing pickup football. I read something or saw something like he didn't know many of the plays.
Doesn't know the players.
So he was asking like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. But you know what? He's done that before. We talked about it on the show. Yes. We didn't know what was going to happen with the rookie, but he goes out with a concussion. I felt comfortable with Dobbs, even if he started.
Absolutely. We did good.
Yeah.
Yes. Seattle got smashed.
They got kicked in the face and punched in the throat. Yeah, that was a bloodbath.
The Commies was a good pick. Where were they? New England, I think, last week.
At New England, 3.5. It was funny because I was putting the graphics for putting these graphics together for tonight, and I watched maybe 5 or 10 minutes of our show last week. I mean, I think it's pretty funny. It's pretty. Funny. Some of it's pretty damn funny. But our breakdown of Washington, New England was quite good.
Yes, it was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both liked Washington. You liked Washington to win outright. I thought it was pretty much 50-50. In that case, 3.5 is way too many points. We took the points. They got the outright win. Solid.
Yeah.
And then I think the Bengals was also.
Well, remember last week I was Middlesbrough. I was all over that.
Yeah. And I changed that, or I guess I didn't save last week's presentation. So your name is back to Philthy McNasty. Earn a new nickname this week. Ready to roll?
Filthy's in the house. Let's get after it.
Bam, let's do it. We did accurately pick Carolina plus 3.5 and the under last night. So
You're
off
welcome.
to a good 2-0 start in the community pool.
I'll keep us in it, mate. I'll keep us in it.
Yeah. I got to get the our winner circle proxy service graphic up here on the screen because I would like to promote the service. Is that they're the reason why we're in this contest.
The reason why we can be in the contest.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Proxy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get it going. 3-4. Colts. Patriots. What do you like here?
Oh, see, this is an interesting one because Patriots suck, can't score any points. I'm not a huge fan of the Colts, as you know. I think you liked them last week. I didn't like him. You had a good pick on them.
Oh, stop. Hold on. Time out. I have to apologize for being an awful friend. If you actually picked Carolina in every one of your pools, I have failed you, and I apologize. Carry on.
I have no idea what that refers to. Belichick.
You told me you were going to take Carolina. That's what I was laughing at. You were stroking your panther. Meow, I believe was the direct quote. You took Carolina against Indianapolis in every one of your pools. You loved Carolina last week.
Yeah, and then I took him out.
Good. Thank God. Anyway, it was quite funny, though.
Well, so oftentimes...
And I'll give you some props. All right. Indianapolis, they won by 14, but they scored 2 defensive touchdowns.
I know.
So maybe it wasn't as bad of a pick as it maybe looked.
It wasn't as bad of a pick, but here's anyway, moving on. So here's the thing. Bill Belichick's got this crazy record when he plays internationally. I think he's unbeaten when he goes international.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like the home team for New England.
Everybody, yeah. Are any of them without Brady?
No, of course not. I mean,
okay.
Now Bill Belichick is humanized since Brady left. So I just don't like the game. If I have to pick something, I pick the Colts. I lean Colts. I don't like it.
Okay. Let me give you a little something here. I really like the Colts again. And I'll tell you why. I was going back and forth. And then I realized, why is this game any different than the game last week? It's like, okay, Colts are on the road. Carolina's not very good. I don't think the Patriots are very good. I think the Colts offense is pretty good. I think they can score points, although they didn't score much last week. Can the Patriots score enough points? And I just don't think they're good enough to beat the Colts. The line is only 1. I just think the Colts win. That's it.
I lean that way for the sake. I mean, I don't know how the Patriots score points. It's a field goal competition, perhaps, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like last night's debacle, which thankfully I didn't get to watch.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and this is where you can look at all the data you want. It's going to come down to subjectivity, which is, I think, like I said, I think the Colts offense is pretty decent. I'm kind of a believer in Steichen.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play very well last week, but they dodged a bullet. They still won. They still covered. I think that's an outlier, poor performance. I think the offense comes back and scores north of 24 points. They've scored 20 points in every game this year. The Patriots have only scored 20 twice. I think the Colts are 24-27, and the Patriots just can't keep up. Period. Yeah. I really like the Colts. Next.
I'm looking at something here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the game last night.
Mm-hmm.
The first half, 19 points. Yeah. I was listening to Fezzik the other day. One of his bets of the week was taking the first half under 20 last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was 19.
Yeah, winner.
Then I think he took the game on the under 2, which we did because it made sense to do so.
Yeah, so I would love I haven't listened to 1 second of any betting pod in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I've just gone straight rogue, but I would be curious. That's one thing I would be curious to hear his explanation on why the first half under and the game under.
He gave a story about it. He knows that, like, he's seen this movie before,
mm-hmm.
and he was talking about 2 crap teams,
mm-hmm.
2 crap offenses. It's going to
mm-hmm.
be a battle of field goals. One of them will come out on top. It's going to be close. And I think somebody else I think it was Bet US
mm-hmm.
when they were on with Vegas Chris and somebody else that was hosting it this week. G-Stack George or whatever his name is. But yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's bang on. I mean, they all agreed with him. Yeah, it's going to be a shit game. I'm glad I wasn't around. I didn't even realize it was Thursday night last night. That's how bad it was.
Well, you were busy. You had stuff going on.
No, but normally I still know the football's on. I'll keep track of the scores. I didn't even look at my phone for the scores.
So A, you were busy, and B, it was a shit matchup.
Absolute disaster.
Next week you'll have your ears perked up. Ravens, Bengals. Big time.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Baltimore, Cleveland, what do you like here?
So the points are interesting to me in this game. Obviously I like the Ravens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson could be MVP. He's better against zone than man coverage. And I think that the Cleveland Browns defense could put them under a bit of trouble. Here's what I'm finding about this week. There's a lot of variance in the point spread. And so some of my picks are different depending on where I'm putting them in. 6 points here. I took 5.5 in another league. I like the Ravens. I think they're a hard team. The jury's out on Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's 100% healthy. They've got a great defense, but the Ravens are going to smash him. It's a good win. Ravens take the points.
Smash win for the Ravens. All right. Are either of these first 2 games on anywhere on your list, your gold or your silver?
I've got Baltimore on my gold.
Baltimore on your gold. Okay. I don't love Baltimore in this spot. If I had to name, and I did this a couple weeks ago with Chicago, the most uncomfortable pick of the week, I think it's Cleveland. It would be hard to take Cleveland. I just think it's an interesting spot. You know me, so you have Raven love. You're basically like Edgar Allan Poe reincarnated. It's hard for me to trust Baltimore. I think this is a division game.
Yeah.
I think it's a rematch.
Yeah.
Baltimore smashed them the first time, but they had a rookie playing quarterback, so it just feels like Baltimore might be peeking ahead just a little bit to the game on Thursday against the Bengals, which I think is the real matchup in that division.
I do agree.
It just, I wouldn't want to take Cleveland, but I think Cleveland might be the right play. And I say that with not much confidence because Baltimore's been on fire. So I can tell you that when the public has faded Cleveland this year, okay, when the line has moved against them, they're 3-0-1 against the spread. Yeah. So in those games, the public's been wrong every time. This will be a real test of that. The other Thursday night team for next week, 7-8, Bengals, Texans. What do you like?
I like the Bengals, of course. I like the Bengals. The Bengals streaming high. I think, they're without Jamar Chase. I know T. Higgins didn't do a lot of practicing. I think he'll play. I think they should rest Jamar Chase because they've got one eye on the Ravens on Thursday night. I don't think he'll play. I don't think it particularly limits them against Houston Texans. The points are a little nervy for me, Houston. I mean, there's a nibble of a backdoor cover here that's potential. But I like Cincinnati in here. They're in my they're in my silver tier if I was to pick them.
Okay.
I've got a strong lean to them, but they're not in my top 5.
Okay. Is Chase out?
I think Chase is out.
Chase has been declared out. Okay.
I don't know if he's been declared out. I'd have to actually check.
You think he's out and Higgins might be out?
The latest on Chase is questionable, which means I don't think he practiced Thursday or Friday. Oh, it's Thursday and Friday was limited, I think. But I have a feeling they'll rest him. And T. Higgins, hold on a second. T. Higgins might be out.
I think Higgins is out. So I'm not positive, but
so that probably moves that game to not being picked for me and just watching how they do.
Yeah, that's interesting because Cincinnati last year without Chase was not very good.
Yeah.
So without Chase and Higgins, I just think Houston might be good enough if the Bengals have a depression in offense. Even though I really like the Bengals defense, I like their defensive coordinator. Yeah. He makes great halftime adjustments. Houston has shown an ability to score some points.
Yeah, they're scrappy.
So I just wonder if this game doesn't end up like 21-17 and kind of an awkward game that
I think
Cincinnati plays a little clunky.
Both teams have a few injuries. I know Nico Collins is out because he's in one of my fantasy teams. I like that guy. I think Tank is playing okay, though. He's coming off an injury, but I don't think either team is 100%. But I think with both of those A and B receivers there, or 2 A-level receivers for Bengals out, it could be close. I think we watch it.
Okay.
Here's an interesting one.
If both teams are 100%, I love the Bengals in that matchup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite. Like, I think they'll win. I think they'll cover because they have a history of not being particularly good without those guys. That one makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 9-10, a forced play. San Francisco 49ers coming off a bye against the Jacksonville Jaguars, also coming off a bye. It is a battle of momentum, a perfect time for the 49ers to have a bye, and maybe the worst time for Jacksonville to have a bye. What do you like?
No, I completely agree with that. I think the weather's going to be a little off down in Jacksonville. It's going to be a little wet and windy, and I don't think Purdy likes inclement weather.
Inclement. That's the second week in a row you've used that word.
Yeah, it's because it's appropriate. But I think
Mr. Thesaurus.
This is probably the best value we could get on the Niners, I think, in a game that's worth playing. And I think if they play well, we won't see this again for the rest of the season. I'm a little nervous of them. I'm not a huge fan of their defensive work this year. I think the coach is a little questionable. If it was 3.5 points, I'd probably take the Jags. At 3, I would squirt the Niners.
I like Jacksonville.
Yeah, so my notes here say, is this the best value we'll get, both off the bye?
I mean, you might be right.
I can probably bet either side, but it says leaning Jags. But ever since I wrote this down on whatever it was this week, I've been leaning back towards the Niners.
So let me ask you this. Is this the best value to get on Jacksonville this year? When are you going to get, who are you going to get Jacksonville +3 at home against?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, well, let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. If it were Kansas City -3 at Jacksonville, who would you take?
Kansas City.
If it were Philadelphia -3 at Kansas City, who would you take?
And they never cover. Say that again. I wasn't listening.
If it was Philly -3 at Jacksonville, who would you take?
Oh, I think you said at Kansas. That's why I got confused. Philly I take Philly.
Well, first I said Kansas City. So I'm just trying to like go down the pecking order of the teams that people think are pretty good.
Confused. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think both sides, there's value. I mean, I could literally make a case for either way and bet either way here.
Yeah.
And I don't like the number. The number doesn't sit well. I'd like 2.5 or 3.5. I don't like 3.
You don't like 3. Okay. That stuff doesn't bother me too much. This is the question for me. When the Niners are healthy, they kicked everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little banged up. They don't look as good. And what's interesting to me is they didn't really have any injuries on defense. Mm-hmm. And the defense is kind of what went south more so than the offense. The offense has been okay. It hasn't been great, but the defense has been noticeably worse. Chase Young, it's a big question mark. Is he going to come in opposite Bosa and just kind of light it up? It's possible. I just don't know. With Debo back, does the offense all of a sudden look great again? I just don't know. So this one is pretty much a crapshoot.
It's another week where I wish we weren't taking the game.
Yeah, but we're not going to cop out.
No,
we're not going to do that.
We stick to it every week.
My suggestion would be recent history is lean Jacksonville. Underdog, take the points. I think we should take Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm just checking my CBS. I took them at 3.5. I like the 3.5. 3 makes me a little. Well, let's do it. We got to pick him. Okay. We've got to max something in there, so we got to mack it out. Let's go.
Yeah, I just. Could the 49ers win by 10? Sure.
It's not a high-scoring game, this one.
But I trust.
Bad weather.
I trust. Yeah, and in bad weather, you want it, it tends to level the playing field if you think the 49ers are more talented than the Jags. I'm not sure. No, that's probably true. But I don't think Jacksonville's a slouch. I believe in Doug Peterson. I think they have a pretty nifty team. It's just there's questions on the 49ers with new players and players returning from injury. Are they just going to automatically turn back into a juggernaut? If they do, they could blow Jacksonville out. I just don't think that's going to happen. Cool. Saints Vikings 11-12. What do you like here?
Well, I like the Vikings all the time because we've got the basket on them, and I want them to do well. Dobbs has had a week of learning their name, so that's a good thing. He might have read the playbook a little bit. That's going to be good. New Orleans Saints, other than their quarterback and coach, a pretty good team, and I think they're playing pretty handy. Their defense is pretty solid. I quite like their defense. There's not a bad group there, and we've got a shaky Dobbs who could give it away. I don't want to bet this game. I'm leaning Vikings because I want them to do well. I think Flores is doing really well. Their defense is good, and they could have a good stop. I think they have a mix of – they blitz a lot. Flores likes to blitz a lot, but Carr is really good against the blitz. So we'll see.
I like Minnesota. I think Minnesota's the better team. They're playing at home. They're getting points.
Yeah.
I wouldn't overcomplicate it. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I like Dobbs. I think if you even look at recent history against the two teams, New Orleans tends to struggle with Minnesota for whatever reason.
This is a game we need them to win anyway. We need them to win for our bets, for sure. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a must win, but it's probably one that when we were doing the futures, I probably chalked up to a W.
Yeah, I mean they've got Detroit still to play twice. They've got Green Bay. They've got
they're Chicago. That's opportunity. They're just trying to keep pace so when they do play Detroit, if they win, they could take the division.
Absolutely. Which is still there.
What I don't like, and this favors the Saints, is Saints have a bye next week, and then they play Atlanta. That game's likely going to be for first place in the division. So they are probably hunkered down. This is a tough game. It's on the road. We're headed into a bye week. We need to win this game to stay out in front in the division. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. Like you'd rather go into Chicago this week, or you'd rather go into play the Rams this week. I think the Vikings are a serious team. And I think Dobbs is good enough at quarterback to win games with a good supporting cast. I think Minnesota's better, I think I like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Green Bay, Pittsburgh. What's going on here?
Oh, great. Well, this is the battle of the powerful offenses, isn't it here?
Yes.
Really?
Don't blink.
Pickett and Pickens and Love and no one. So I just, again, here's a team that I thought was going to do a lot better. They pulled out a win last week against a shitty team. Aaron Jones, though, what I did like seeing last week was they utilized him. 20 plus snaps at running back, pulled in a touchdown, got some action. He could be the deal breaker this week. Aaron Jones, Green Bay Packers away from home, 3.5 points. I like it a little bit.
Love Pittsburgh.
See, Green Bay is in my goal tier. Plus 3.5. I love it.
Oh, no, I give Green Bay no credit. I don't think Green Bay is very good. I give Green Bay zero credit for beating
You think the Steelers are good, worthy of a 5-3 record the way they've played? I don't
know if they're worthy of 5-3, but
they're not very good.
Yeah, but they tend to keep winning games. I think they're better as a dog. I will give you that. So yes, I would rather have them plus 3.5 as a motivational force. But, they beat Tennessee. Tennessee's not shitty. And they covered. And it was Thursday night, so they got a little bit more rest.
But they shouldn't have beat Tennessee. Tennessee was the better team all game long.
Yeah, okay. But they won.
So it's like they are Minnesota Vikings of last year, this year. I mean, they're getting these wins when they don't play well.
And Green Bay stinks.
I don't like Green Bay. The only thing I like about Green Bay is the fact that they've got Aaron Jones healthy. They've got their offensive line, I think, healthy. And there's not a lot to like at Pittsburgh. I mean, this really is a shitty game all around.
And I like it.
But I like Green Bay with those
I think Pittsburgh's going to win. I think they're playing at home. I think Green Bay sucks. Again, I give them zero credit for beating a below average Rams team with a fringe NFL quarterback at home. That is not an impressive win. They're going to go on the road, and I think they're going to get smashed by Pittsburgh. And by smashed, I mean lose by 10. I think Pittsburgh's not going to hang like 35 points up or anything like that. But I just don't think I have no confidence Green Bay can score
points. Pittsburgh's not scoring any points.
They can score enough.
He's useless. This is one where we are polar opposites on this game.
Yeah, because I tried to pick my core three, and then I picked the ones that I diversify with. Yeah. As soon as I looked at the schedule, and I started doing this before the games last week, I circled Pittsburgh. I just like it. The line opened, I think, 2.5. Oh, I like that even better. But I'm not scared of 3.5 on Pittsburgh.
You should be.
Yeah, well, you might be right. We'll find out. Tennessee, Tampa Bay, 15-16. Anything here?
Yeah, I like Will Levis.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think it's interesting, this game, Tennessee, because they're -1. They're favorites here, right? Mm-hmm. And I've got them in the CBS league
on the other side
against the spread, and they're plus 1.5.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a minute. How do you how?
Yep.
So they're the better team. I don't like Tampa Bay. Tennessee, I just like them this week. It's good.
This is a sword fight for you because you got Tennessee over futures and Tampa Bay under futures, right?
Well, there's a little bit of that sneaking in. Yeah, I'd like this for my bets. Would be really good. I think Levis is good. I think he's a big, strong boy. I think he's going to do well. You know, he's not a little Bryce Young who can't see over the back. A little Brock Purdy with his fake 5'11", who's probably 5'9". You know, I don't know. I think I think Levis is going to do something here.
Okay. I've got nothing on this game. Right, so I was looking at it.
It's not going Westgate then.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I wrote my stuff down. I went back and looked at my data again. I looked at it again this morning. I'm like, okay, what are the games that I like? I've not paid enough attention to, and this was one of them. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna figure out the better side. And I did my analysis all over again, and I still came up with nothing. I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't love Levis.
Vrabel and Levis is where my bet is.
Okay, and I like Vrabel. I like maybe the morale bump with Levis more than I actually like the gameplay. And I like the extra rest. Tampa Bay also lost a heartbreaker last week. Game that they could have won. Houston came back on them in the last minute. They scored a bunch of points, 39-37. The other thing is that if Tampa Bay has any inclination of competing for that division, this game they have to win because they're peeking ahead. Well, it's similar for both teams. Tennessee's got Jacksonville next week. Tampa Bay's got the Niners next week. They've both got to be in urgent mode. And so I just don't see any leverage for either team in this game.
Yeah. I mean, even in IYP, it's +1.5 for Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, I would like that. I mean, if I liked Tennessee, I would rather have them +1.5, obviously.
All right. 17-18, Atlanta Falcons at the diabolical Arizona Cardinals.
Who do you like?
I don't like Arizona.
Yeah?
That's it. I don't like this shit. And I don't care about Kyler Murray coming back. I don't care any of that. What are they, 1-8? What are they playing? What are they playing for now?
Yep.
Awful. I take Atlanta all day.
You take Atlanta all day, and are they in their gold?
Atlanta are my second pick.
Wow. Okay, shocker here. The Atlanta Falcons were going to be my number one game of the week. After I've probably picked against them more than any team this season. They were going to be my number one. This is a perfect spot. They lost last week to Minnesota. Competitive game. They're going to play Arizona. Not a good team. Atlanta's got a bye next week. Then they play the Saints. This is a game like we got to win this game. We got to get right against Arizona. They were going to be my number one pick.
Until
the Kyler Murray news. No. And I think Connor's going to play too. And so now I sent you this text message earlier, like sometime on, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it was. Maybe. And I think of the, what's the duh? We missed that like a bunch of idiots.
Yes. Yeah.
I think this is the game. Kyler Murray's coming back. Starting running backs coming back. They're obviously probably going to be better than they've played all season.
No.
I think Arizona's going to win.
Can't wait for Atlanta in this game. Absolutely all day long.
I don't know.
Don't worry about Kyler Murray coming back.
Why?
I would be more concerned about James Conner than I would Kyler Murray.
Well, they're both back. But what team gets worse when they're starting quarterback plays?
They're doomed. They're doomed for the season. They're just getting some reps again. They want Kyler Murray to face the team. That's it. They're not winning.
Okay, so hold on. If they're going next level like psychology here, they want Kyler Murray to play.
Yeah.
They want him to play really well, so they either have confidence in him or they can trade him.
Yeah.
They put him in a spot against Atlanta. The other thing about Kyler Murray, he might be rusty and timing is off and, he doesn't know the receivers and all that stuff. But guess what? He can freaking run. Running doesn't go rusty. He could just if I had a bet on any player prop this week, I would bet over Kyler Murray rushing.
I'm not touching Arizona ever again.
Okay. I find myself, that is my pick of the week. Kyler Murray comes back. They're playing Atlanta, who's not very good. Of course they're going to win. Okay.
All right. Good luck with that one.
19-20. Well, they're not in my core three, but they might make their way onto one of my pools.
Yeah. 19-20.
19-20. Lions, Chargers.
Yeah. So Detroit coming off.
Don't you fucking hesitate on this game.
Detroit are coming off a bye.
Mm-hmm. You keep that going.
They're heading to the Chargers.
Just keep that going. No home field advantage. You just keep that going.
I like the Chargers +3 in this game.
You've got to be out of your fucking mind. Why?
I don't know. I have no data, no nothing.
Because you were impressed that they beat the Bears?
I didn't even see the game. So
because you were impressed that they beat the Jets?
I want the Detroit Lions to lose this game.
No.
Yes, I do.
Well, see, but you have to take that out of it.
No, I'm not. I know I'm supposed to, but I'm not betting on this game. It's not in my list. I'm not putting it anywhere, but I fancy the Chargers.
No. Look
at the points are interesting.
If this game were 2 weeks ago, who would you like?
I'd still be on the Chargers.
Yeah, well, you'd be wrong. This is Lions all day long. This is Lions preseason. This was Lions midseason. This is Lions this week. This is Lions today, tomorrow, and Sunday. This is Lions all day and all night. The Chargers are okay. I'm not going to say they're a bad team. They still have a quirky coach. The last 2 weeks, all of a sudden, the Chargers are good. They beat the Bears and the Jets. Both of those teams.
I'm not doing anything. I totally agree with you. I'm not betting on any stats or any who's better, who's what. I just, for some reason, there's something about this spot. I just don't like Detroit in it.
Oh, I like Detroit coming off a bye. And I'll give you another name, Ben Johnson, because he's going to be the head coach in the NFL next year for some team. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator, Detroit Lions, 2 weeks to prepare against the Chargers, who the offense gets all the headlines. So their defense stinks.
Is this a gold pick for you? Is this a Westgate SuperContest gold pick?
This was one of my across the board. This is going to be in every one of my pools.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And by the way, the last 2 weeks, since I switched my strategy to this, I'm 6-0 in my core picks.
All right.
So I don't want to sway you or anything.
When I start seeing you meeting me anywhere near me on the leaderboard, then you can start shouting your picks.
Yeah, well, my RYP stuff is the lowest of all of them. Like even last week, I'm 5-0 in Circa, 4-1 with you in Westgate, 4-1 in pregame, 3-2 in RYP. I'm just telling you.
It's all good.
Well, I don't think we've agreed on any picks this week.
No, we have.
We're going to have a hell of a time.
We have. We've agreed on the Niners and the Jags, even though we haven't really agreed on that one. What's the next one? Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants and Danny DeVito. I think that we have to go, if we had to pick this one, because I have to in my other league, I have to pick Dallas to just absolutely trounce them. They're going to beat them by 30 points. But in this league, we're not taking them. You're not ever putting any money on Danny DeVito and the New York Giants.
They're come on. Give the guy some respect. I think it's Tommy DeVito.
Oh.
Or Timmy DeVito.
He's Danny's son. Danny's son, Tommy, is about as big as his dad.
His mom must be 7 feet tall.
He works in a cheesesteak restaurant.
Hey, let's give some respect to Danny DeVito. I actually saw Danny DeVito in Vegas one time. I swear to God, the guy can walk under a restaurant table. Like, I knew he was short, but I've never seen anything like that.
He's 37 inches, top to toe.
Jeez. I wouldn't touch this game, and if I had to, I would take the Giants just because 16. You can't swallow 17 points in an NFL game.
We're not going to take it, but I'm telling you right now, they absolutely smashed them. Them. They'll be 33 points up at the half.
So you think, like 35-0 at halftime?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, let's get to a serious game. Seahawks Commanders 23-24. Talk to me.
My number one pick of the week.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes. Yes, my number one pick of the week. Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pete Carroll had a bad beat last week. Bad beat. We got the commies coming over after a win as a dog win, and they're coming out to rainy Seattle. No chance. This is an absolute no-brainer. Gold star. Seattle Seahawks bounce back position, winning by 10. Put it in your top 5 right now. Bank it, baby. Bank it. I'm having a
Oh, God.
Don't even mutter the word Commanders as a bet.
I won't. I'll say Washington. This was. So I wrote down the games again. This was right in there with Tennessee and Tampa Bay. Like, I don't know what to do with this game. I think Seattle wins. So again, I do my who do I think is going to win? Who do I think is going to cover? I think Seattle wins. I just feel like 6.5 points is too many points. And so I went back and I'm looking at my stats. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that. I'm trying to figure out like what's the. I land on Washington plus 6.5. I just get to the point where what do I have down here?
One of us is going 5-0. The other one of us is going 0-5 this week.
It might be. It might be. But in this one, we have to go 5-0.
Yeah, well, it's going to struggle, aren't we? Okay, we're on two sides.
I have something written down that when the public buys Washington, they're 0-4 ATS. So I have to check the line movement on this game. This game was 6 or 5.5, right?
I think I've got Seattle 5.5. What did I get earlier in the week on Seattle?
So it hasn't moved.
I don't think this has moved at all. I have
to look to see if the public is backing Washington with this line or fading them, because they're 0-4. When the public buys Washington, they're 0-4 ATS. That means this game would have been 7, at least -7. I don't think it was -7. I think it's a lot of points.
I love it.
But I haven't loved Seattle as much as you have the whole season.
Yeah. It let me down last week. My only loss.
Yep. 25-26. Jets Raiders.
Last week I dropped one game in my top 10 teams. And I went smashed up the league in every other spot that I'm in. So I'm probably due for a fall this week. So
good for you. Good for you. Puff your chest out a little bit more, big fella.
It's puffed. It's hiding behind Philthy, but it's puffed. Like a piece of crisped rice. Okay, so this is another game that sucks. There's some sucky games this week. New York Jets at Las Vegas Raiders. So it's a home game for the Jets. And the Raiders are awful. Now they've got over their adrenaline pump of Pierce in place. The Jets are coming in with a superb defense like they were last week with a shitty offense. I mean, the variance on this game is pretty significant when I look at the points available in multiple places. I can only lean Jets.
Let me ask you this. If Aaron Rodgers were quarterbacking, and there's a reason I'm asking you this. If Aaron Rodgers...
I don't like him.
Well, that's fine. I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to ask you the question. If Aaron Rodgers came back and were quarterbacking the Jets in this game, who would you take?
Jets. If the points were the same.
With no hesitation?
With no hesitation.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Put this in your thought bank. Then why wouldn't you take the Cardinals with Kyler Murray?
So I don't like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Two different teams with two different situations. The Jets are still something to play for. Arizona's got nothing to play for.
I need my screams. I'm sorry, that's the wrong answer.
It's the wrong answer based on what you want the answer to be.
That's right. Well, It will be the wrong answer.
No, it's gonna be interesting watching this playback. I tell you what.
Yeah. Let's see. How many games is that? Like 11? We're 0 for 11 on agreement.
Oh, we've got one more then.
27-28. Buffalo Bills, Denver Broncos. Who do you like?
Well, this is a trending matter for me. Broncos trending up, Bills underperforming with 7.5 points. I like Denver.
Okay, we better write this one down because I like Denver too. Denver was one of my initial my look ahead picks. I like Denver in this. For exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I think Denver, if I wrote down their ATS records, their ATS records aren't very good on the book adjustment and the market adjustment, but they're 2-0 in their last 2 games. So they're trending the right direction. I think they're playing better. They're coming off a bye. I think Buffalo wins this game, but I think Denver covers 7.5. I think 7.5 is too many. The only thing I would worry about is Buffalo finally going to put together one of those we've had enough, we're going to kick your ass games? I've been waiting for that for a few weeks. I don't think it's going to happen.
We've been waiting for that for a few weeks. Here it is. This is their bounce back game. Oh, well, maybe next week. Oh, here it is. Here's their bounce back game. And the only game they've looked good at recently was against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't think they have it in them. No. I don't think they're that team this year.
They're not that team. I don't think the coaching is as good.
No.
Something's up.
Yeah,
right.
no,
So we got a Denver pick. I like that one then.
We've got Denver. All right.
And we've got Jags.
Okay, Denver and Jacksonville are in. We have to.
We have to. What are we getting on Jags?
Because all the other ones are. Okay, so
how about Minnesota? We're going to take Minnesota.
Oh, I like Minnesota, but what I wanted to ask you is, if since we've had so much opposition, what do you think? What are the games or the teams that you think I've made the strongest points for?
You like Indianapolis. I think you're.
Yeah, but the argument.
Oh, none of them. Because I think you're on the wrong. You're on the wrong side. You're asking me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on the wrong side, but you think I'm way off on Arizona? Do you think I'm way off on every pick? You think I'm way off on the Steelers?
I see.
You think I'm way off on Detroit?
A lot of these games are.
You think I'm way off on Washington?
A bit coin flippy. I think. I do think you're way off on Washington. I don't think they have a cat in hell's chance. I honestly don't think they have a cat in hell's chance in this game.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, do you want to go Minnesota?
Yeah, we should get 3 picks that we can at least agree on. Then we have to take one each.
Okay, and were any of these? Okay, so where was Denver on your tiers?
Second tier, silver pick, Denver.
Jacksonville on your tiers.
No, I didn't like the game. I just know we have to pick.
What about Minnesota?
Minnesota, silver tier.
Silver tier. Okay, so I like dogs on your silver tier. I think you probably have a pretty good record with those.
Well, we've got 3 dogs right now: Denver, Min, and Jax.
Which I like. Okay, the other 2.
We're not really close on anything.
Well, no, I don't think that's well. If we go 1-1, and we can do that if you want.
Yeah,
that's fine. Usually, I think we did that last week. You took Seattle, and I took. Who did I take? The Colts. Was the Colts? I'm not sure. No, the Colts wasn't in our. Well, let's go back and look.
Can't remember.
I think I forced in Kansas City.
No, we both like Kansas City. It's on I got my sheet here. Kansas City was the top of my gold list last week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Then who did I put in? I thought it came down. Oh no, maybe it was the week before. You didn't like Jacksonville against Pittsburgh, and I put in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That might have been what it was.
That sounds about right to me. Yeah. Buddy. All right, so we've got Denver, we've got Minnesota, we got Jacksonville.
So who would you force in? Or what are the candidates for your?
Well, all of my
your non-consensual.
My gold 5: Seattle, Atlanta, Green Bay, Baltimore, and Tennessee are my 5 gold teams this week.
Okay, say that again.
Seattle, Atlanta, Green Bay, Baltimore, Tennessee.
Okay, take Baltimore out of there. I mean, I take Green Bay out of there. I hate Green Bay. I don't like that pick at all.
I know you don't. I'm happy to take it out.
So get Green Bay out of there. Atlanta's an interesting one for me because going into the week, before I heard about Kyler Murray, they were going to be my number 1 pick. But the Kyler Murray news makes me nervous. Tennessee is basically just, can they win?
Why are you picking apart my picks? Just pick one of yours. I'll pick one of mine.
Well, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to kind of wait. I don't want to just.
Well, I know my top pick, and you know what my top pick is.
Well, you're going to put Seattle in again.
Yeah.
Just want everybody to see this up on the screen here.
Oh, you've never picked a team that lost the week before?
No, I think it's a good idea.
It's a hell of an idea.
I just don't.
It's a hell of an
I'm not sure this is the right time.
They're at home
I don't think Washington's that bad.
They're not that bad, but they were a dog winner last week. They're traveling all the way across to bloody Seattle.
Yeah,
it's not a position for Washington to do well in. I know the points are a little hefty for you. Seattle wins by 10.
Seattle wins by 10. It's
down.
possible. It's possible. Okay. You seem very adamant about that. So I think My core picks, we're going to be Pittsburgh and Detroit. My middle tier is like Minnesota, Indianapolis. I don't know. Do I want to go?
I could go Indianapolis, but still, Belichick makes.
Yeah, I know. You could go Indianapolis. That game is.
Belichick's a little nerve wracking, though. He could just want to.
I know.
Just want to stiff everybody.
Well, okay. So let's look at rank these if you had to pick.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Detroit, Indianapolis.
Oh God, you would pick those three.
Mm-hmm.
In order of where I would pick, if my foot was held to the flame
Mm-hmm.
and I had to pick, I would go Indy, Pitt, Detroit. No, I wouldn't. Indy, Detroit, Pitt. Doesn't really matter. I hate both Pitt and Detroit picks this week.
I know. Why'd you go blurry? That's not a good sign. There you go. You're back.
All right. Come on. Make a pick.
Okay.
I still think Green Bay plus 3.5 is the right way to go.
Well, you can take it all day long. So is Carolina plus 3 or whatever the hell they were last week.
Oh, that's too funny. I'm playing my gold 5 in RYP, and I'm not moving away from them. They're all
good. You should.
I am.
It's exactly what you should do. I should have done that, and I should have done that myself last week. But when you go 5-0, it's hard to do better than that.
Did you go 5-0 in RYP?
No, the RYP's been my worst one.
Oh, well, then why would it be your worst one? It's the same thing as we do in here.
No, because so for a while I was agonizing over picking the 5, like finding the best 5, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I just committing to 5 across the board? I think it's easier if you pick all the games, because some of the ones you really like you're gonna miss, but some of the ones you don't pick, you probably have winners over there too.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get just the picks that I really like.
Yeah.
And then diversifying into, I kind of want to take this team. I kind of want to take this team. I kind of want to take. It just so happens that the RYP ones haven't been as good as my other ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So circa 5-0, pregame 4-1, RYP 3-2. That just worked out that way. If I switched the teams around, which I could have done, the records would have been different.
Yeah.
But that's not how it worked out. I don't feel great about this card. Denver, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Indianapolis, and Seattle. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think there's a slim chance it's an over.
Denver, Minnesota, and Jacksonville are all 3 high-risk games. And then what do you say?
I think Jacksonville is probably the highest risk of those.
Yeah.
But I think they're the best of those teams also.
Indianapolis is
I really like that. I mean, on the surface, it's questionable, but when I dig into my information, it's the same game as last week.
Yeah.
Indianapolis had an off week and still won. I think they bounced back. I think they just outscore the Colts. The Patriots.
Yeah, I think you're right. Even with Belichick's record out there, he's not got a record out there with mac and cheese as the quarterback.
Yeah, I think Indianapolis is a good play.
All right, let's get him in.
Yeah, that's what it is. Denver, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Indianapolis, and Seattle.
All right. And then you'll pick yourself when Atlanta, Green Bay, Baltimore, Tennessee win. And you'll say yet again.
I think they could.
I should have listened to Philip.
I think they could. As long as our teams win, I don't care.
I know, that's very true.
But it's like, I would prefer to pick Tennessee. Atlanta was my top pick before the Kyler Murray news.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. Honestly, I really don't.
I think it has to matter. I mean, come on.
No, I don't.
It has to matter.
When was his last game?
Whenever, like mid-season last year.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not ready.
But everybody, well, he might, yeah, whether he's ready or not, I don't know. I'm just assuming that he's ready if they're going to put him out there. There were rumors he was going to sit out the whole year because they were going to tank.
Nothing to lose.
But,
not that good. Anyway, it's all right. No point in harping on about that. Let's move on.
Well, I'm just saying the other games you mentioned, like Tennessee, I would prefer if Tennessee won. I like Tennessee to win that game. I just don't have any real strong conviction with it.
Yeah.
I think it's even across the board and the line is even. There's no edge. And you're right about the variable line movement. Mm-hmm. It's like they're dogs in some places. They're favored here.
Should have been a pick.
What do you do with that? I don't know. I don't know what they are in Circa. I think they're -1 in Circa.
Who, Tennessee?
Huh?
Tennessee are +1.
+1 in the Circa?
Yep.
I mean, how big of a difference? I mean,
it's a -2 in Circa.
I know. All right. Well, let's go with it. We'll just go with it. We'll see what happens.
We just got to. That's all it is. All right. Let's get to our. Let's get the picks in, and then let's get to our overs and unders.
Overs, unders. Thanks for watching.